Welcome, dear children, to lesson number 1, The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh from the book Hornbill. The Portrait of a Lady is written by Khushwant Singh, who was an Indian novelist, lawyer, journalist, and politician. He was born and raised in Hadali, Punjab, which is now a part of Pakistan. He studied law at St. Stephen's College, Delhi, and King's College, London. After working as a lawyer in Lahore Court for 8 years, he joined the Indian Foreign Service upon the independence of India from British Empire in 1947. He was appointed journalist in the All India Radio in 1951 and then moved to the Department of Mass Communications of UNESCO at Paris in 1956. Khushwant Singh was decorated with the Padma Bhushan in 1974, but he returned the award in 1984 in protest against Operation Blue Star, in which the Indian Army raided Amritsar. In 2007, he was awarded the Padma Bhushan, the second highest civilian award in India. So, to cut the long story short, he is one of the most renowned and most prominent literary figure that we have in our history of English literature. Now, the lesson that we are going to discuss in this video is the portrait of a lady, and the lady in the title is no other than Khushwant Singh's grandmother. The lesson by Khushwant Singh is a beautiful recollection of his grandmother. He has used his academic intelligence to pay a tribute to his grandmother. His grandmother brought him up, and hence he has shared a very strong bond with her. As he grew up, there were changes in the relationship, and in this particular lesson, Khushwant Singh has brought in the notice of all the readers that how, with the passing of the time, someone who was so close to his heart and the bond that he shared with his grandmother changed because of the circumstances. So, this lesson, please do not forget, that is a tribute to his grandmother. The author's grandmother and the description of the author's grandmother in the poem is beautifully done. He also calls his grandmother the winter landscape in the mountain. And why he calls him as the winter landscape in the mountain? Because she used to wear white sari all the time and would do some enchantment and reads out religious verses throughout the day. And the image of the grandmother created by Khushwant Singh in the lesson is all beautiful, pious and clean, transparent and beautifully white. Not just in literal sense white, but of course about the character of what grandmother held and the beauty which reflected as the winter landscape in the mountains according to Khushwant Singh. As beautiful, as serene, as glowy, as clean and beautiful to eyes, like covered with snow and beauty around. Now, for 20 years, the author had known his grandmother, and he had always found her old and wrinkled. And it was hard for him to believe that she had once been young and pretty. When he sees a portrait of grandmother and grandfather hanged at the wall, he was just not able to believe his eyes that his grandmother was ever young and beautiful. The thought of her being young and pretty was almost revolting to him, and stories of her childhood seemed absurd to him. She was short, fat, and slightly bent, as old people sometimes bend in old age, and her face was a crisscross of wrinkles. That is what the writer mentions in the lesson, crisscross of linkers. Okay, so she was that old. To the author, she could never have been pretty, but she reflected a divine beauty from within. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains. As I said, that this winter landscape in the mountain is not just, referring to the white beauty of this grandmother wearing that white beautiful sari, clean sari, but it is all about her character and the divine beauty that she held from within. The author's childhood was mostly spent with his grandmother. The author and his grandmother were good friends, and his parents left him to stay with her when they shifted to the city. She used to wake him up and get him ready for school. She said her prayers while she bathed and dressed him in the hope that her grandson would know them by heart. So like anyone, any elder and any older person in the family, they always want their kids to be on the right path, and so did this grandmother. So she wanted Khushwant Singh to actually listen to the prayers carefully so that he could also learn. But Khushwant Singh did listen to the prayers very carefully, but only because he loved her voice. But he never bothered to learn them. He never bothered to learn any religious verses or anything from the book of religion. She would gather all his things and hand them to him in a bundle. She would accompany him to the school as well, and on the way she would feed the stale chapatis to the stray dogs. While the author learnt his lessons at school, the grandmother would read scriptures in the adjoining temple. So this was her daily routine. And if you can notice, children, that the entire world of the grandmother was revolving around Khushwant Singh only. From the beginning of the day till night, she's only busy in doing certain activities along with Khushwant Singh, and while dropping this child to the school, she would also feed the chapatis to the stray dogs, which shows that how kind this lady would have been. Now this lesson has been, in order to get the understanding and comprehend the lesson deeply and clearly, you must remember the three phases that are here in this lesson. The lesson, actually, the journey of the author, I wouldn't say one lesson, the journey of the author with his grandmother is basically divided into three different phases. Phase number one, when Khushwant Singh's parents had left this child to live along with his grandmother in the village, and while the grandmother was spending every minute in the service of this young child and trying to give him a good upbringing, good moral lessons and everything in and around religion. Okay, then is the phase number two. The second phase begins when they all moved to the city. Who all? The grandmother and Khushwant Singh, in order to live along with the parents. And there comes the turning point in the relationship of Khushwant Singh and grandmother. The turning point in their relationship came when they actually moved to the city. The author went to an English school, and now the grandmother could not accompany him anymore. There were no dogs to feed, and hence she took to feeding sparrows. She used to get bored, but then she inclined herself even more towards the religious practices. But there was this thing that she did not find good. One, that he was going to an English school where there were no readings of religion, and there were no religious scriptures to be read, no religious books to be read. So totally English school with English as a medium and subjects which were way beyond the understanding of the grandmother. She was really not happy with the teaching that he was receiving at the school. And he was also not happy because music was one of the subjects over there, and according to the understanding of the grandmother, music was not at all to be taught to a person or a child of a decent family. Okay, so this was perhaps the generation gap that was coming in between the relationship of Khushwant Singh and his grandmother on one hand, and second hand, the change in the routine. In village, she was always around this boy Khushwant Singh, happily around this boy. But while they all joined the family in the city, things changed, and she was no longer being able to stay around Khushwant Singh all the time, because the routine changed. He used to go to school on himself. She was no more accompanying him to the school. Neither was he able to spend much time with the grandmother. So things were changing, and hence this phase 2 was the turning point in the relationship. The common link of friendship between the author and the grandmother was broken when the author went up to the university and was given a room of his own. After that, she rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. Only in the afternoon she relaxed for a while to feed the sparrows. It used to be the happiest half hour of the day for her. Some birds even sat on her head, but she never shooed them away. The author was doubtful of whether he would see her again when he decided to go abroad for further studies for 5 years. So things were changing for both of them, even for Khushwant Singh and even for the grandmother, majorly for grandmother, because she had started feeling alone already. She had started feeling lonely already. Okay, she was alone and she had started feeling lonely because there was absolutely nobody to spend time with her. Hence, she chose sparrows while she was not on her spinning wheel, while she was not doing the religious practices, while she was not performing her worships. Then she was feeding the sparrows. And when he decided to leave for the university, he thought that grandmother would be really sentimental and would not accept the idea of him leaving the house for 5 years for further study. But contrary to what he thought, she actually went along to leave him at the railway station, and while they were all going to the railway station, she was also praying and telling the beads of her rosary, and silently she kissed his forehead. And the author thought that perhaps it was the last sign of physical contact between them. Now, why he thought was it a last sign of a physical contact between them? Because of the old age of grandmother. And Khushwant Singh, although was getting busy in his own schedule and in his own life, but yet he had this deep love for the same grandmother, and the love was the same deep and true for the grandmother. But of course there were changes in the relationship and the bond because of the less of spending of time together. And also he was afraid to lose the grandmother while he would be back. He was not sure whether he would be able to see the grandmother again in his life or not. But to his surprise, when he returned after 5 years, grandmother went to receive this young and handsome fellow. And on his return after 5 years, the author did not find any change in his grandmother. She was as old as ever and remained absorbed in her prayers. And even that day, the happiest moment for her was feeding the sparrows. Now, feeding the sparrows in this lesson is a deep connection. It is actually a common link. Okay, it is a link between the substitute that she had found for herself. Earlier, she was busy in upbringing this young fellow Khushwant Singh, but when he got busy in his own life, she had to choose someone, she had to choose something in order to keep her happy apart from her religious practices. And earlier they were stray dogs and now they were sparrows. So that half an hour that she would take out for herself was the happiest one for her. And to the surprise of all, this old woman, when this boy returned, when Khushwant Singh returned, something strange happened to her in the evening. Okay, she was super excited on the return of this boy, and what she did, she collected the women of the neighborhood and got an old drum and started to sing songs of homecoming of warriors. Everybody tried to persuade her to stop, but she didn't listen to anyone. And as a result, out of the exhaust and her old age, she fell ill the next morning. It was mild fever, and the doctor said not to worry, but the grandmother insisted that her end was near. Because it is also believed, might be a myth, that it is believed that when a person's end comes to, when a person's end is near, and the person who is about to die is able to sense that somehow. Okay, and that is why the grandmother insisted and told everybody that her end was near. And she told everyone that she did not want to talk to anyone and would rather spend her last moments praying. And she ignored everyone and started telling her beads. But after a short while, the author noticed that his grandmother's lips stopped moving and she died a peaceful death. But what happens next is also something to pay attention to. When the author and others came to take the grandmother's body, they met a strange sight. A lot of sparrows had surrounded the grandmother's body, but they were all silent. Earlier, when the grandmother would use to feed these sparrows, they would make huge noise, loud chirping noise around. Okay, because just if you can imagine that if huge number, some around 100 of sparrows if are around and they are doing this chirping sound, how do you feel? There would be a lot of noise. But this time, when the grandmother's body was taken out, they were all silent. And when the author's mother offered the sparrows some bread, they refused to eat and quietly flew away after the grandmother's body was carried outside. Which shows this beautiful sight, children, is actually the recognition of the bond she had with these sparrows. Like, unlike the death of anyone who is not so close to your heart, you may feel sad after listening to the bad news, but then you move on with the usual activities of the day. You don't really sit silently for a long time, don't eat food or something like that, right? You don't really mourn the death of anyone who is not so close to your heart. You may feel sad for some time, you may have that condolences towards the family and all, but you don't really leave everything and feel sad about it. But if someone who is close to your heart dies, then you can't even think of a life without that person. So this sight of sparrows also prove that the grandmother was such a beautiful soul that this lady had a great relationship even with these small birds, that on the passing of the grandmother, they were quiet and refused to eat anything. As if they were able to understand the loss, as if they were unable to understand the pain. So this was the lesson, the portrait of a lady, and here is this. There is this flow chart in which there are 3 different phases, as we have just discussed in the video lecture. Okay, so phase 1 was a routine in the village and everything around this boy Khushwant Singh, where phase in the phase 2 things changed. There were less of meetings, there were less of talks, but in phase 3 everything changed, because there was a lot of gap in the communication and in the relationship. The relationship that they held among themselves was, was going through a different mode, where the grandmother accepted the loneliness silently and would only spare herself with that half an hour by feeding those sparrows, and that was the only activity other than her prayings she would do. So this was the lesson, a tribute to the grandmother of Khushwant Singh by Khushwant Singh, a beautiful lesson which gives you the understanding, which gives you the meaning of the closeness that one holds with grandfather or grandmother, which is a beautiful one. The relationship with grandparents are unusual one. They are even more unconditional, because they don't demand much out of your life. The only thing they demand from you is your time, your good words, your kindness towards them. So children, if you have your grandparents alive, trust me that you are lucky enough to have them in your life. Please spare some time for them. Try to spend more time with them. Try to be nice to your grandparents. Thank you.